First contact deception. Commander Elena Santos stood at the bridge of the U.S. Meridian, her expression carefully neutral as she watched the approaching Zarkax vessel through the view screen. The alien ship's crystalline structure caught the light of the nearby star, creating rainbow refractions across its surface. It was beautiful, like most things the Zarkax built, and supposedly far superior to anything humans could create. That was exactly how humanity wanted it to appear. "They're hailing us, Commander," Lieutenant Chen reported from his communication station. The young officer's fingers danced across his holographic interface, though the advanced quantum processors beneath the simple display were doing far more than their visitors could imagine. "Standard protocols," Santos ordered, straightening her deliberately outdated uniform. "Remember, we're just a simple patrol vessel conducting routine surveys." The bridge crew nodded, their movements practiced and precise. They had trained for this moment for years. As the alien transmission came through, the bridge's apparent technology downgraded itself instantly. Holographic displays flickered into basic screens, quantum interfaces transformed into simple touchpads, and the ship's true capabilities vanished beneath a carefully constructed veneer of primitive technology. The Zarkax ambassador appeared on the main screen, his crystalline form emanating the soft blue glow that indicated diplomatic intentions. "Greetings, human vessel. I am Ambassador Ixel of the Zarkax Confederation. We notice you are operating near our trading routes." Santos bowed slightly, the perfect picture of a junior species representative showing appropriate deference. "Ambassador, I am Commander Santos of the Earth Space Force. We're conducting standard planetary surveys in this sector. Our records indicate this is neutral space, but we're happy to adjust our course if we're causing any concern." The ambassador's crystalline structure shifted, creating patterns that the Meridian's true sensors recognized as indicators of subtle amusement and contempt. "Not at all, Commander. We're simply curious. Our sensors detect your vessel is using rather primitive fusion drives. Surely your government has access to more advanced propulsion systems through trade agreements." "I'm afraid not, Ambassador," Santos replied, allowing a carefully measured amount of embarrassment to color her tone. "Earth's resources are limited, and the trading councils have deemed our technology level insufficient for more advanced systems. We make do with what we have." Behind her practiced diplomatic smile, Santos knew the Meridian's true heart was humming silently. The quantum fold drive, hidden beneath layers of sensor bafflers and reality warpers, could have taken them across the galaxy in moments. The primitive fusion emissions the Zarkax detected were actually carefully crafted echoes, designed specifically to reinforce humanity's apparent technological backwardness. "A pity," Ixel responded, his crystalline form shifting to show what humans had learned was their equivalent of a condescending smile. "Perhaps in a few centuries, your species will advance enough to join the greater galactic community properly. Until then, do be careful in these sectors. Space can be dangerous for less developed civilizations." "We appreciate your concern, Ambassador," Santos replied, her expression never wavering. "Rest assured, we'll be cautious." As the transmission ended, Santos maintained her pose for exactly 30 seconds, the time it would take for standard sensors to show their ship slowly turning away. Then she allowed herself a small smile. "They bought it," Chen said, his holographic controls reappearing as the ship's true systems came back online. "Their scans never penetrated past the first layer of our sensor nets." Santos nodded, watching as the crystalline ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, completely unaware that the Meridian's quantum sensors were tracking their every movement across 12 dimensions of spacetime. "Send the data packet to command. The Zarkax are getting bolder with their friendly warnings. We need to document every interaction." "Do you think they suspect anything?" Lieutenant Wong asked from the tactical station, where weapon systems that could have reduced the alien vessel to its constituent atoms remained hidden behind false panels and reactor signatures. "No," Santos replied, settling back into her command chair. "They see exactly what they expect to see. a primitive human ship fumbling its way through space. Their own technological arrogance blinds them to any other possibility. She pulled up the classified mission brief, encrypted in quantum states that even the most advanced alien civilizations hadn't discovered were possible. Operation Masquerade was proceeding exactly as planned. While the galactic community continued to view humanity as technological infants, Earth's true fleet grew stronger. Hidden shipyards in fold space produced vessels that defied conventional physics, while research stations in artificial pocket dimensions developed technologies that the older races had dismissed as impossible centuries ago. The humans had learned early in their spacefaring history that appearing weak while harboring unprecedented strength was the surest path to survival. Let the Zarkax and others believe humanity was struggling with basic fusion drives and simple mass accelerators. Let them think Earth was a technological backwater, barely worthy of notice. "Send word to the Phantom Fleet," Santos ordered, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of human preparation. "The Zarkax are expanding their patrols in this sector. Tell them to adjust their cloak frequencies accordingly." As her crew acknowledged the orders, Santos allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity had chosen this path not out of fear or deception, but out of pragmatism. They had studied their own history, seen how powerful civilizations often treated those they deemed inferior, and decided to learn from those lessons on a galactic scale. The day would come when humanity would need to reveal its true capabilities. But until then, they would watch and wait and prepare. Let the galaxy think them primitive. Their surprise would be all the greater when they discovered that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology. It was their ability to make others underestimate them. The Meridian continued its patrol, a seemingly simple ship-hiding power that would reshape the galaxy when the time came. In the vast darkness of space, countless other human vessels did the same, waiting for the moment when the masquerade would end, and the true face of human innovation would finally be revealed. The Silent Watchers. Deep within the crystalline spires of the Zarkax Central Intelligence Complex, Analyst First Class Vextor reviewed the latest data streams with growing unease. The holographic displays surrounding his workstation showed thousands of recorded encounters with human vessels over the past solar cycle, each one perfectly ordinary. And that was precisely what bothered him. "Too perfect," he whispered, his crystalline form shifting to deep purple with concern. "Too consistent." His superior, Director Nelix, materialized beside his workstation in a shower of light particles. "You requested an urgent consultation, Analyst. This had better be important enough to justify interrupting the quarterly threat assessment." Vextor gestured at the surrounding data streams. "Director, I've discovered a pattern. Or rather, an absence of patterns where patterns should exist." He pulled up a series of recordings showing human ships across different sectors. "Look at their technology signatures. Their development rate is absolutely linear. Their failures and successes follow perfect statistical distributions. Every technological advancement they make is exactly what we would expect, precisely when we would expect it. And this concerns you because..." Naelix's tone carried the edge of impatience. "Because it's impossible," Vextor replied, his form pulsing with academic fervor. "I've studied the technological development patterns of every known species in the galaxy. Real progress is chaotic. There are unexpected breakthroughs, devastating setbacks, random accidents that lead to new discoveries. But humans," he waved a crystalline appendage at the displays, "their development follows our theoretical models too perfectly. It's as if they're deliberately matching our expectations." Nalix's form shifted to a deeper shade, indicating growing interest. "Show me your evidence." Vextor brought up a new set of data streams. 3 cycles ago, a human mining vessel experienced an engine malfunction in the Proxima sector. Their repair procedures were exactly what our models predicted for their technology level. Not a single deviation. 2 cycles later, a human research station made a breakthrough in particle physics that perfectly aligned with our projected advancement timeline. He paused, allowing the implications to sink in. Director, do you know how many variables influence technological development? The odds of any species exactly matching our theoretical models are astronomically low. The odds of them matching those models consistently across hundreds of incidents and discoveries, mathematically impossible. Nelix studied the data in silence, his crystalline structure refracting light in complex patterns of thought. What are you suggesting, analyst? I believe the humans are deceiving us, Vextor stated, his form pulsing with the excitement of discovery. These patterns suggest a deliberate effort to appear predictable, to match our expectations so perfectly that we never look closer. He brought up another display, this one showing energy readings from Earth's solar system. Our long-range sensors detect exactly the amount of industrial activity we'd expect from their declared technology level. Their energy emissions match our models for fusion technology. Their ships move exactly as slowly as they should. You're basing this on the fact that they're behaving exactly as they should. Nelix's tone carried skepticism, but his color had shifted to the deep blue of serious consideration. Yes, because that's exactly what makes it suspicious, Vextor insisted. No species behaves this consistently unless they're putting on a show. I've cross-referenced historical data from every known civilization. Even the most stable societies show variance in their development patterns. The humans show none. 0 unexpected advances, 0 catastrophic failures, 0 random discoveries. It's as if they're following a script. Nelix absorbed this in silence, his crystalline form processing the implications. If you're right, what are they hiding? I don't know, Vextor admitted, his color dimming slightly. But I've noticed something else. Whenever our ships encounter humans in neutral space, their vessels are always slightly outdated models, always just primitive enough to avoid serious attention. Yet we never see their latest ships, their newest technology. It's as if we're only seeing what they want us to see, Nelix finished, his form now pulsing with dark colors of concern. Exactly. And there's more. Vextor pulled up a final set of readings. I've detected quantum irregularities around their solar system. Brief moments where our sensors record. Nothing. Not empty space, but literal nothing, as if pieces of reality itself are temporarily missing. Nelix's form crystallized into sharp angles of decision. Prepare a full report. Classification level Omega. I want every encounter with human ships reanalyzed under these parameters. And Vextor. His voice dropped to a lower frequency. Speak of this to no one. If you're right, we may be dealing with something unprecedented. As Nelix dematerialized, Vextor turned back to his displays, his crystalline form humming with nervous energy. Somewhere out there, humanity was hiding something. The perfect patterns in their behavior weren't just suspicious anymore. They were terrifying. Because if humans had managed to fool the entire galaxy about their true capabilities, what else were they hiding? In the darkness of space, as if in answer to his unspoken question, a human patrol vessel passed by a Zarkak sensor array, its primitive fusion drive leaving exactly the energy signature everyone expected to see. And behind its carefully maintained facade of weakness, quantum computers more advanced than anything the Zarkaks had dreamed possible recorded every detail of the encounter, adding it to an ever-growing database of a deception so complete it had fooled the galaxy's greatest minds for generations. Breaking point. High Admiral Kexri of the Zarkak's expansion fleet stood before the War Council, his crystalline form radiating aggressive red pulses. The chamber's ancient walls, carved from living crystal, reflected his agitation across 1,000 facets. The humans are hiding something, he declared, projecting Vextor's classified intelligence report into the center of the chamber. Their behavioral patterns are too perfect, too controlled. This charade has gone on long enough. Supreme Commander Yixtal's form shifted with caution. What exactly are you proposing, Admiral? A test, Kexri replied, his crystalline edges sharpening with purpose. A carefully orchestrated incident to force them to reveal their true capabilities. 3 squadrons of our most advanced warships, appearing to go rogue, pushing into their territory. If they're truly as primitive as they appear, they'll have no choice but to call for help from the other races. But if they're hiding something... The chamber erupted in frequencies of debate. Testing the supposedly inferior species was strictly forbidden by galactic law, but the possibility that humans had deceived them for generations demanded investigation. Meanwhile, aboard the Earth Defense Command Station, Olympus, hidden in fold space above Earth, Admiral Sarah Chen received the warning she'd been expecting for decades. The quantum AI's prediction algorithms had been tracking the growing suspicion among the Zarkak's leadership with perfect accuracy. "They're making their move," her XO, Captain Marcus Rodriguez, reported. 3 Zarkak's battle squadrons are preparing for jump, officially listed as conducting routine exercises. Chen studied the holographic display showing the real-time positions of humanity's hidden fleets. The Phantom Armada, ships that could bend reality itself to their will, remained invisible to even the most advanced alien sensors. The Quantum Strike Force, vessels powered by humanity's mastery of consciousness-directed energy, waited in artificial pocket dimensions. "How many ships are they committing?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. The AI had predicted this scenario with 99.9% accuracy. 15 capital ships, Admiral. Their newest crystalline dreadnoughts, armed with dark matter cannons and quantum disruptors. They think it's overwhelming force against our supposedly primitive defenses. Chen allowed herself a small smile. They're about to learn the difference between seeing what's there and seeing what they expect to be there. Initiate protocol revelation. Transmit the coded warning to all human ships in the sector. Maintain the masquerade until my direct order. Across human space, vessels that appeared primitive on alien sensors continued their regular patterns while calculating precise quantum jump coordinates. Civilian ships followed their usual routes, their crews calmly preparing for what they had trained years to handle. The Zarkak's attack came exactly as predicted. 3 squadrons of crystalline warships emerged from faster-than-light travel near the human colony of New Eden, their weapons charged and shields at maximum power. Admiral Kexry's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Attention, human authorities. Due to suspected violations of technological development treaties, your colony will submit to immediate inspection. Resistance will be met with appropriate force." The response came not from the colony's modest defense platforms, but from Commander Elena Santos aboard the U.S. Meridian, the same primitive patrol ship that had encountered Ambassador Ixel weeks earlier. "This is Commander Santos to Zarkak's forces. You are in violation of galactic law and human space. Withdraw immediately." Her voice carried just the right amount of fear and desperation that the Zarkaks would expect from an inferior species facing overwhelming odds. Kexry's response dripped with condescension. "You have 1 standard hour to comply, or we will be forced to demonstrate our technological superiority. Your outdated vessels are no match for our fleet." In her real command center, hidden beneath layers of quantum deception, Santos exchanged glances with her crew. Everything was proceeding according to the ancient human strategy of appearing weak when strong. The Zarkak ships moved into attack formation, their crystalline structures gleaming with power, completely unaware that they were already surrounded. "Admiral Chen," Santos reported through quantum channels undetectable to alien sensors, "the enemy is in position. They're proceeding exactly as the AI predicted." In her fold space command center, Chen nodded. Humanity had maintained this deception for generations, waiting for this moment. The Zarkaks were about to learn why Sun Tzu's words about appearing weak when strong had become the cornerstone of human space strategy. "All ships," Chen transmitted on the quantum network, "prepare for protocol revelation. Let's show them what humanity has been hiding all these years." The trap was set. The Zarkak's fleet hung in space, their sensors showing only a handful of primitive human vessels cowering before their mighty warships. They had no idea they were about to become an object lesson in why assumptions about technological superiority could be fatal. Unveiling the storm. As the final minutes of the Zarkak's ultimatum ticked away, Admiral Kexry watched with satisfaction as the primitive human vessels maintained their feudal defensive positions around New Eden colony. Their outdated sensors would be detecting exactly what his fleet wanted them to see: 15 advanced crystalline warships, their weapon systems charged to maximum capacity. "Their hour is almost up," his second-in-command noted, crystalline form pulsing with anticipation. "They haven't even called for help from their supposed allies." "Because they know help wouldn't arrive in time," Kexry replied smugly. "Now we'll see what they're really hiding behind this facade." His words cut off as his sensor officer's form suddenly flashed urgent patterns of alarm. "Admiral, quantum distortions detecting all around us. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database." Space itself seemed to ripple, reality bending in ways that should have been impossible. Where moments before there had been empty void around his fleet, now hundreds of human vessels simply existed. They hadn't decloaked or emerged from jump points. They had simply shifted from being undetectable to undeniable in an instant. "Impossible," Kexry whispered, his crystalline form paling as his sensors reported the true nature of what surrounded them. The ships weren't just advanced. They defied fundamental laws of physics that the Zarkax had thought immutable. Admiral Chen's voice echoed through every crystalline ship, transmitted through methods that bypassed all known communication protocols. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. For generations, we've hidden our true capabilities, knowing this day would come. You see before you less than 1% of humanity's actual fleet." On the bridge of the Meridian, Commander Santos allowed herself a genuine smile as she ordered, "Disengage quantum camouflage. Show them what we really are." The seemingly primitive patrol vessel transformed. Its hull shifted and flowed like liquid metal, quantum-engineered metamaterials revealing their true nature. Where the Zarkax had seen outdated weapons and simple fusion drives, now stood a vessel that made their most advanced technology look primitive in comparison. "By the first crystal," Kexry's sensor officer breathed. "Their energy readings. Our sensors can't even classify them. The weapons they're deploying, the principles they're based on. This can't be possible." Throughout the human fleet, similar transformations occurred. Ships that had appeared to be simple freighters and outdated military vessels revealed their true forms. Quantum drives that could fold space itself, consciousness-linked weapon systems that could target ships through multiple dimensions, hulls made of materials that could adapt and evolve in real time. "Your dark matter cannons are impressive," Chen continued, her voice carrying no hint of threat or triumph. "Just simple fact. We mastered similar technology centuries ago, then moved beyond it. The quantum disruptors you're so proud of. We use more advanced versions to power our civilian mining equipment." As if to demonstrate, a single human corvette, smaller than the Zarkax fleet's scout ships, projected a quantum field that completely neutralized the weapons of 3 crystalline dreadnoughts simultaneously. The technology gap wasn't just significant, it was revolutionary. "How?" Kexry demanded, his voice shaking. "Our intelligence reports, all our observations, were exactly what we wanted you to see," Chen replied. "Every encounter, every technological advancement, every seemingly primitive human ship, all carefully orchestrated to maintain our masquerade. We learned early in our history that appearing weak while harboring overwhelming strength was the surest path to peace." The sensor officer's crystals chimed in panic. "Admiral, I'm detecting similar energy signatures throughout human space. Thousands of ships we never knew existed. Installations that were invisible to our best sensors. Their entire civilization is orders of magnitude more advanced than we thought possible. In orbit around Earth, massive orbital rings that had remained hidden in quantum fields for generations became visible for the first time to alien sensors. Shipyards building vessels that could manipulate the fabric of reality itself, research stations probing the fundamental nature of consciousness and its role in shaping the universe, defense platforms that could redirect the energy of entire stars. "We don't want war," Chen stated firmly. "We never have. Everything we've done, Every deception, every careful manipulation of our apparent technological progress was to avoid unnecessary conflict, to ensure that when our existence was finally challenged, we could respond from a position of absolute strength. The Zarkak's fleet hung motionless, surrounded by technology so advanced it bordered on miraculous. Their sensors were detecting similar revelations across human space. Every human world, every colony, every simple outpost suddenly revealing defenses that made their mighty armada look like primitive toys in comparison. "You have a choice," Chen continued. "Return to your territory, and we can begin honest diplomatic relations between our peoples, or persist in this aggression and learn firsthand just how far beyond your understanding human technology has progressed." Admiral Kexri, his crystalline form now pale with shock, realized that humanity hadn't just outmaneuvered them militarily. They had achieved what his people had thought impossible. They had advanced across multiple technological fronts simultaneously, breaking free from the specialization that had defined galactic civilization for millennia. The trap hadn't just been sprung. It had been centuries in the making, and they had walked into it believing themselves the predator rather than the prey. New dawn. The emergency session of the Galactic Council stretched into its third day. The massive crystalline chamber, usually a model of order and decorum, buzzed with barely contained chaos as representatives from every major civilization struggled to process the revelations of the past week. Ambassador Ixel, who had once looked down on Commander Santo's primitive vessel, now sat silent as holographic displays showed the true extent of human advancement. The footage of the Zarkak's fleet's encounter with humanity's revealed forces played again and again, each viewing raising more questions than answers. "How did we not see this?" demanded the Arcturus representative, their energy form flickering with agitation. An entire civilization, hiding in plain sight. The human representative, Dr. Sarah Martinez, stood calmly at the center of the chamber. Unlike her predecessors who had played the role of humble newcomers, she carried herself with quiet confidence. The simple diplomatic robes she wore now seemed like a choice rather than a necessity. For centuries, she began, humanity watched as advanced civilizations encountered primitive ones. We saw how technological superiority often led to exploitation, whether intentional or not. We decided on a different path. She gestured, and the chamber filled with new holographic displays. But these were different from anything the Council had seen before. The images seemed to exist in dimensions that shouldn't be possible, conveying information in ways that made several representatives' sensory organs ache. "What you're seeing is a small demonstration of how humanity actually processes information. We've been operating on levels you never detected because you never thought to look for them. Your assumptions about technological development being linear and specialized became our greatest shield." In the Zarkak's intelligence complex, analyst Vextor watched the proceedings with a mixture of vindication and awe. His suspicions had been correct, but the reality far exceeded his wildest theories. The quantum irregularities he detected weren't errors. They were glimpses of humanity's true capabilities, leaking through their carefully maintained facade. Back in the council chamber, the Syrian collective's representative raised a crucial point. "Why reveal yourselves now? You could have maintained this deception indefinitely." Dr. Martinez smiled. "Because it was time. The galaxy is changing. New threats are emerging from deep space that will require unprecedented cooperation. We chose to reveal ourselves now, on our terms, so we could offer our help from a position of transparent strength, rather than hidden power." She paused, letting her words sink in. Humanity doesn't seek dominion or revenge for past condescension. We want partnership, real partnership, based on mutual understanding and respect. We've hidden our capabilities, yes, but we've also watched and learned from each of your civilizations. We've seen your strengths, your innovations, your unique perspectives on the universe. The chamber erupted in overlapping discussions as representatives processed the implications. Some expressed outrage at the centuries of deception, others fear at the level of technology humanity had achieved. but most were simply stunned by the realization that every assumption they had about technological progress had been proven wrong. Admiral Chen, watching from her command center in Fold Space, exchanged glances with Commander Santos. Phase 1 of Revelation Protocol is complete, Santos reported. The AI models predict a 97% chance of successful integration with the galactic community within 5 years. Chen nodded, studying the readouts showing the reactions across known space. Already, their sensors detected numerous civilizations rushing to re-examine their own assumptions about technological development. The age of rigid specialization was ending, sparked by humanity's revelation that simultaneous advancement across multiple fields wasn't just possible, it was potentially necessary for survival. "We've given them quite a shock," Santos observed. "Do you think they'll ever trust us again?" "Trust isn't built on perpetual honesty," Chen replied, "but on understanding each other's true nature. We hid our capabilities, but never our essential character. Every diplomatic interaction, every trade agreement, every cultural exchange, we were always honest about who we are as a people. We just didn't show them everything we could do." In the council chamber, Dr. Martinez was concluding her address. "The masquerade is over. Now we invite you to join us in exploring what's possible when we stop limiting ourselves to what we think we know. Humanity has broken free from the conventional paths of development, and we've discovered something extraordinary. The universe is far more amazing than any of us imagined." She gestured once more, and the chamber filled with visions of technologies that defied conventional physics, of discoveries that rewrote the fundamental laws of reality, of possibilities that had been dismissed as impossible by races far older than humanity. "This is our true gift to the galaxy, not our technology, but the proof that the impossible is only impossible until someone decides to try anyway. We chose to appear weak while growing strong. Now we choose to be strong while growing wise. Together." As the council session continued, ships across human space finally dropped their carefully maintained disguises. The galaxy watched in awe as humanity's true civilization emerged from its quantum veils, not as conquerors or superiors, but as pioneers who had found a different path to the stars. In orbit around Earth, Admiral Chen watched the sun rise over her homeworld, its light reflecting off orbital rings and quantum arrays that no longer needed to hide. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Masquerade is officially concluded. Begin Phase 2, Project Renaissance." The age of deception was over. The age of discovery was about to begin.